How's everybody doing tonight? It's really great to be here tonight with so many friends and partners. The commitment of the couple of hundred people in this room tonight unlocks the potential of thousands of relationships all over the country every year, and for that we're deeply grateful. We're here tonight to celebrate what each of you bring to this work, what our mentees and our mentors, what our partners, what our staff, and what all the supporters in the room bring to this work. We're here tonight to celebrate what we collectively are proving. We're proving that if you go into a high school and match every student with a mentor, that you can significantly increase the number of students who go to college and succeed when they're there. And we're proving that a real, true college expectation is not just reserved for the young people whose parents graduated for college, but instead, a real college expectation, going to college, can be the rule, not the exception, in every high school in America. But maybe most importantly, the thing I want to focus on tonight is how we do this work. In the landscape of all the other organizations and initiatives that work on improving college outcomes for students, it's how iMentor does its work that makes me the most proud. We do it one student at a time, one relationship at a time, one school at a time. We do it by saying that preparing students for college is not merely an academic challenge, because the young people who show up to our schools in the morning are not exclusively students. These are false segmentations. We're not a student from 7 a.m. to 3 in the afternoon, and then a friend from 3 to 5, and then a son and sibling over dinner, and a dreamer in the small hours before we go to sleep. We're all of these things at once. We're holistic, and in the high school years, wholly unsure about which way we're going. We're curious and cautious, and we're at the intersection of ambition and academics, friends, family, finance, habits and skills, and all the examples we have in our life of what's possible. And so what I want to celebrate tonight is the way that our mentoring relationships embrace and respond to this complexity, because it's at the considered intersection of all those things where change actually happens. What I want to celebrate tonight is that what our work says is that for schools that need our help the most, they cannot and should not have to do this work alone. I want to celebrate how iMentor inspires an entire community to step up and support these schools in the most personal and powerful of ways possible, one student at a time. That's what we're proving together here. And if you took just a sampling of the stories in this room tonight, you'd start to get a sense for what I mean. Diana is here tonight, and kindly let me share this story. When she was in the 9th grade, she was failing U.S. history because it was first period and she wasn't going to school on time. And so her mentor started to text her every morning. And it was a small gesture that said, well, it said, wake up. But it also said, I care about you. It said, I'm invested in your success. It said, this is what consistency looks like. And it reminded us that there's no listening until we show a little love. Kevin and Adam just received the Caroline Kimmo Mentoring Award. Kevin met his mentor Adam in his junior year, was unsure if he was going to go to college. Nobody in his family had gone, and he hadn't really talked to anybody about college. And in his own phrasing, Adam drilled college into his head. But like so many of our students, this wasn't a choice that Kevin made. This was a direction he was heading and continually reevaluating. And when Kevin went to take the SATs for the first time, he got nervous and left in the middle of the exam. And it was his mentor who said, you're going to go back and do that again, and supported him to do that. And when he went to take his SATs the second time, he was 5 minutes late, too late and locked out of the exam. And it was his mentor who said, we're not giving up here. And it was his mentor the third time around who met him at 6 a.m. and took him out to breakfast and made sure that he got to the exam on time. That's how you teach persistence. We teach persistence with our example and our patience and our unconditional support. And that's how students build new habits. Kevin now talks about this in the context of all the different challenges he faces. And I just found out about an hour ago that he's in college now and texting pictures when he gets an A on his papers. He's texting pictures to his mentor, Adam. What all of our mentors will tell us is that once you're in these relationships, there's no longer any ignoring how in play it is. How much is up for grabs every year with every student, ready to go one way or another, depending. There's no ignoring how formative these years are. When Nancy doesn't know whether or not she can pay for college, it's the example from her mentor that comforts and challenges her. Her mentor got through Hunter herself, working 2 jobs, Sears during the day and DHL at night. And that means Nancy not only can know that that's possible, but she knows how you go ahead with pulling something like that off. Evelyn's in the room, and she was the first in her family to go to college, but she wanted to go to a fine arts school, a portfolio-based application. And she had her mentor, Abby, who had also gone through that process, who met her 15 times Saturday afternoons during her senior year of high school to refine her portfolio, who took her to a Green Day concert to celebrate when she got into her top school. That's right. They both loved Green Day. Who knew? It's her mentor who right now is helping her figure out a financial aid problem so she can live on campus with her friends. And it's her mentor who's going to be there every step of the way until she finishes college. What if that was school? What if you had somebody solely dedicated to you? What if you and every other student in your school had this? What if the supports we provided for students matched the daunting complexity of each young person's adolescence? That's what we're proving is possible. We're proving it even if you're on the senior leadership team at Burberry and you have 3 daughters of your own, all applying to high school or college themselves. When we prove that Daphne has time to be a mentor, most other too busy arguments go right out the window. Daphne signed up because she said she wanted to be a role model for her daughter, and she got matched with Tanya during Tanya's senior year of high school. Tanya was just coming back to school after having her first son, Jaden. And so Tanya meets her mentor at the exact time that she has to figure out how to be a mom and how to not give up on her dream of college. And in Daphne, she gets just the support she needs at just the time she needs it. And she's in college now, on her game, takes the subway 2 hours every morning from the Bronx to Brooklyn to hit her early morning classes. And just last week, she called Daphne, and she was screaming on the phone, excited. She just got her first job, a job at a fashion company that Daphne had helped her get. And Daphne was in the car with her daughter and her husband when she got this call, and they can hear Tanya over the phone, and all of a sudden, it's everybody celebrating together. And any mentor will tell you that once you're in these relationships, the feeling that you are uninvolved is over. The feeling that it's not all in this thing together, that feeling's over. This thing that we always refer to in abstract terms as community, that's something you can celebrate with your family in your car. That's something tangible. That's what we're proving here together tonight. We're proving that this is precisely how involved we need to be. Because make no mistake about it, tomorrow morning inside every American classroom is the generation that's coming. And we're either in it or not. The American classroom is the cathedral to what's coming. We're either there with our example and our time and our love and our support, or we're not in it at all. And that's what we have the opportunity to do together. We have the opportunity to inspire communities all over the country to stand up in the most personal of ways possible and say, what happens in our schools happens with me, not around me and not without me. That I've invested in the generation that's coming, and it's going to be amazing. If we can inspire all of you to stay with us, iMentor is going to match 20,000 new students with mentors over the next 5 years. We're going to continue to invest in data and evaluation so we can identify the component pieces of what's working and share it with all of our peers and partners in this work. And we're going to continue to be the voice in the conversation that says, if we want our education reforms to reach their highest potential, then they're going to have to rise up to meet the true complexity of the human experience.